Hey y'all, welcome to the live. Just doing a quick get ready with me on this lovely Sunday. Just applying a little bit of my Murad sunscreen. It's quite silicone-y in feel, so if you don't like that, then I don't recommend this one for you. It's a chemical sunscreen. I'm going in with a little bit of this Sealed by Topicals. It's a primer. This is my T-zone area where I tend to get oily. On days like today, I pretty much get oily everywhere because it's so hot here in Southern California. Next, I'm going in with this Huda Beauty color corrector. And today I want to showcase some Koyudo and Bisyodo brushes because there will be an upcoming price increase. So I wanted to feature some of them, in case y'all are interested in picking any of them up. There's one other brush company, Mizuho, who will also have a price increase. This one's by Mizuho. I just didn't pull out all of my Mizuho brushes for today's live, but I just have this little guy right here to feature. I forget what the name is on this one. If you're interested, leave me a comment and I'll find out for you. It's just a little goat hair brush. It wasn't a brush card, so it's a little bit more squished than normal, but it's a good mid-size shape. You could use it. I think it's marketed as a foundation brush, but you could also use it for concealer and stuff like that. You could use it for foundation too if you have a really small face or if you're in a pinch. But these multitasking brushes are good for travel. Hey girl, welcome to the live. Thanks for joining. Hey Shara Star, welcome to the live. Thanks for joining. It's nice to have you here. I'm just showing off some Bisyodo and Koyudo brushes in this live. I am going to do a little bit of eyebrow gel, I think, right now. I have this Refi one right here. Okay, you can't hear me. Shara Star, can you hear me? Is the audio an issue on my end? Hi, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. Just gonna do a quick get ready with me. I hope my audio is okay. Let me know if you're having trouble hearing me. You can hear me just fine? Okay, great. Thank you, Shara Star. Yeah, Rebecca, I don't know. Maybe try turning your volume on. Sorry you can't hear. I'm just putting on this eyebrow gel by Refi. This is an okay one. I probably would not repurchase this Refi eyebrow gel. It's not one of my favorites. I feel like it doesn't have the strongest hold in the world. Maybe it's just because my eyebrows are really stubborn. If any of y'all are familiar with Morgan Turner, she is a makeup reviewer on YouTube. She's like obsessed with this Refi one, I think. She like loves it. But I do think she has thinner eyebrow hair than I do. Hi, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. Just doing a quick get ready with me here. I just slapped on some eyebrow gel. And for the eyebrows, I brought out some brushes that could be used for eyebrows from Bisyodo and Koyudo, since there will be a price increase coming up. So if any of y'all are interested in picking these up, you can find most of these on Fude Bobo's website, which you can find at the link in my bio. Hi, thank you for joining the live. Just doing a quick get ready with me here. You just started following my page, Val herself. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you love it. Thank you for following and for watching and joining my live. So these are just some of the brushes that could be used in theory for doing your eyebrows. This one is pretty much exclusively, in my opinion, good for eyebrows. And then this little guy right here by Bisyodo is just a shorter version of it. This is part of their short handle series. So as you can see, the handles are much smaller. So then you have this Bisyodo brush here. This is in, it has Yakasugi wood, which is why it says Yakasugi right here. They have a few different versions. These come in a set, and you can choose what kind of wood you want on your brushes. I chose the Yakasugi wood just because this is a rare wood. So from my understanding, this Yakasugi wood is native to Japan. I think this one area in Japan. Anybody can correct me if I get any of these facts wrong, by the way, at any time. But from what I hear, it's illegal to actually cut down these Yakasugi branches because it's such a rare type of wood. So they have to source it from any branches or stumps like that that just like have fallen or otherwise can be found just like on the floor. They're known to have a nice scent to them. When I just got these brushes, I did notice a scent. I can notice a slight one right now, but I don't know if there's like tiers of quality when it comes to Yakasugi wood. Anybody else that has any Yakasugi wood handles can let me know if your experience is the same as mine, where it just depends on, I guess, like the batch you get. This is also one of the ones in this series. I'm not sure if I pulled all of them out. I can't remember if it came with 5 or more, but I was just kind of frantically grabbing brushes before this live. But yeah, so this is kind of a cool little travel set. If you're interested in checking these out. If Fude Bobo doesn't carry any of these brushes, you can also get them on Fude Beauty and CD Japan. So for today's live, I'll just use this little guy here for my eyebrows. And if I have a lisp, it's because I have my whitening trays in. I've been meaning to whiten my teeth, but you know, I always get lazy, so I figured I'd just stick them in while I'm doing this live. I hope y'all don't mind. But how is everybody doing today? I'm so glad everybody can join on this Sunday. It's really hot here where I am, Southern California. I'd love to know where everybody else is tuning in from. So as you can see, I'm just taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills eyebrow powder. It's raining and so humid. Oh, interesting. Where are you? Where are you from? Or where are you watching from? It's totally the opposite. San Bernardino? Oh, that's not that far away from here. I'm in Ventura. Raining and humid. That's crazy. That's interesting. We are right now in the middle of, we're experiencing a heat wave. It's supposed to be done, as I understand it, by tomorrow, but yeah, it's been super, super hot here this entire weekend. But I know San Bernardino is also just generally hotter since you're more inland. We're closer to the coast here. Yeah, I know, it's super hot. Hopefully my AC doesn't bother anyone. I think it's off right now, but it's on like it comes on periodically. And yeah, so just quickly filling in the eyebrows. These are stiff hairs here, so they're perfect for doing eyebrows quickly. I think this is Tamage, if I'm not mistaken. If anybody knows otherwise, feel free to correct me, but I think it's the same type of hair as is in this Koyudo Yoshiki eyebrow brush here. Sometimes this can be a bit overkill and I prefer just a smaller one. It just depends. If I'm in a major rush, I do appreciate a large eyebrow brush. I do believe this is in stock on the Fude Bobo website, if anyone's interested in that. But you can just as easily use a weasel hair like this, which is nice and stiff, but still super soft, to fill in the eyebrows as well. Bisyodo also has these two, which are similar, and these are in the long handle series, but one of these is Weasel and one of these is Tamage. I believe this is Tamage. I get confused and sometimes call it Bitch. I think they're kind of similar, but yeah, I talked briefly about these in my recent YouTube video, if any of y'all caught that. But okay, so after I do my initial kind of filling in of the eyebrows with some powder, I do like to take a brush like this to just kind of define my eyebrows further. And you could also use a brush like this by Bisyodo. I do believe this is, I think it's like a mix of Weasel and Bitch, if I'm not mistaken. This was kind of an impromptu live, so I'm sorry I'm not more prepared with the specific names. But if anybody does want to know exactly what any of these brushes are made of or their names or anything like that, all of these have like these like coded names to them, and I just like, there's so many brushes, so I don't have them all memorized. This one, this other brush here that's part of this Bisyodo travel series is also one that's stiff yet soft enough to do your eyebrows with. That would have also been a great one. But I do like to take, if any of y'all have seen any of my videos, like pretty much in every single video I use a cream concealer like this from NARS with just like a flatter Weasel brush, and I just like to clean up my eyebrows. Excuse my dogs in the background. And I just kind of outline to clean up my brushes. To clean up my eyebrows. That was in the shade Ginger. It has a little bit more of an orangey undertone. And this one is in the shade Custard. It's just a little bit more neutral. Stop barking. Stop. Hi, thank you for joining the live. I'm just doing a quick get ready with me here as I tell my dogs to stop barking. All right, so that should be good enough. Hi, thank you for joining the live. I'm just a quick get ready with me here. Yeah, okay. Oh, from London. How interesting. Welcome to the live. We were just talking about how hot it is. I'm here in Southern California. How is the temperature in London right now? Is that where you live? Okay, so for the base, I am thinking I'm going to try this Westman Atelier little sample here that I have. This is the Vital Skincare Complexion Drops. I've never tried this before. I'm curious if anybody has tried this before. Let me know if you have. It says, it's this little note back here. It says easygoing, radiant, and packed with serum strength actives for when you want skin so fresh, so flawless, it's like you just had a quick facial. Love, Gucci Westman. So far on my skin, I just put on this Murad SPF and a little bit of this Huda Beauty color corrector, which is why you see kind of some pinkish. Okay, so let's try. I'm not really sure which exact color I am. It comes with a few different shades. So I'm typically between a medium and medium to tan. I'm going to pop open this medium one and maybe one of these in the tan shades. Let's do 6. This is shade 6, and then I might do like shade 4 or something. I think it goes like reverse, as like the deep one here seems to be shade 13. And like this one over here is shade 0.5. She uses like Roman numerals in her shades. As you can see, look at this formula. It's like super, super thin. It sounds awesome. Yeah, it does sound awesome. Sounds promising. When I said mini facial, I sold you. Yeah, let's see how this is. This is first impressions together. I usually kind of, well, I think I haven't been interested in picking up this foundation in the past because it's pretty pricey, just like Westman and Atelier is. I don't mind paying a lot of good money for makeup products as long as they perform. But what I've been hesitating about with this one is the type of skin I have, and I wasn't sure if this was really conducive to my skin type because I do lean more oily. So I'm going to be using this Bisyodo brush. This one, as one of my fellow Fude friends on here, her name is Yasmin. Her profile is YamBIG. She has said in the past that this one has been goated, and I couldn't agree more. This is a really stunning brush. It's still available on Fude Bobo's website. There's a limited amount. It's Weasel. It's by Bisyodo. And yeah, so I've talked about it tons before on my channel. So if anybody has any specific questions about this foundation brush, feel free to ask, but I'm going in with just a little bit of this. This medium shade here, shade 6, actually looks like it's a pretty good shade for my skin right now. I'm going to start kind of in the center of my face with this, using it kind of sparingly because this sample is kind of, doesn't really give you very much to work with here. So I don't know, we might need some reinforcements with the concealer later on. I'm dying for that brush. I asked Bodo to keep one for me. Yeah, it's a really good brush. I do highly recommend it. And Bobo is great. I'm sure she wouldn't mind doing that for you. Yeah, I'm just making sure. I always wanted to try the tint. Have you tried their new concealer? No, thank you for asking. I have not tried her new concealer. If y'all didn't know, yeah, Westman Atelier did drop recently a new concealer. And I am interested in trying it out. I've had generally pretty good luck with almost everything I've tried, I think, from Westman Atelier. So I'm sure that that one's probably a good concealer. I'm assuming it's probably light coverage, just like her products do tend to be. Let's see, I'm looking for something I can use on the perimeter of my face. So I'm going in here with the shade 9. So it looks, okay, skin that feels as good as it looks. I'm reading the description on the inside of the card right here. Hey Aldo, thanks for joining the live. Hi Paulina, thanks for joining the live. Welcome. All right, it says serum strength actives at efficacy levels meet radiance boosting pigments. The first of its kind skincare tint works with your complexion, not over it. Amplifies skin with lightweight coverage that hydrates and evens tone while brightening, firming, and soothing over time. Drop by drop. Radiant finish. So I imagine that one of the reasons that Westman Atelier makeup is pricey is because some of it does claim to have skincare ingredients in her products, which I know is a little bit controversial. Some people rather just not have skincare ingredients in their makeup and just do their own skincare routine. And not have to pay extra to have skincare products in their makeup, which I totally understand. Another perspective is, you know, that some people don't mind paying a little bit extra to have skincare ingredients in their makeup, especially if, you know, you have some aging skin and it's just another added bonus. I thought it was Kolinsky brush you were using, but you said Weasel. Oh, okay. No. Yeah. So sorry if so this is Kolinsky. This is Kolinsky. I said Weasel just because sometimes I use them interchangeably. It's my understanding that Kolinsky is Weasel. So Weasel is like the larger category. And then within Weasel, there's like different tiers, kind of like different quality among Weasel, and I think Kolinsky is like the softest grade of Weasel, and then there's like a couple of other types that are a little bit less soft but are still considered Weasel, or just like some Fude brushes are labeled Weasel and others are labeled Kolinsky. It was a cheaper dupe. Oh, I know, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news. But yeah, this one is very luxurious. It's stunning to just look at, to feel. It's truly a collector's item. It's one of the things that is so special to me too is that Mr. Bisyodo himself hand bundled each and every one of these, and he is now in his 80s. It has a good amount of hair in there for what you're paying for. This African rosewood glossy handle is lovely. It has a nice weight to it in the hand. This is a 24 karat gold ferrule, so you will pay a pretty penny, but it is top of the line Japanese craftsmanship made by some of the best artisans out there. And do I use the Kolinsky brush for foundation or only bronzer? No, I use this Kolinsky brush for anything that is liquid or cream, really. You can technically use these brushes with even powders, but it really is, it excels when it comes to creams, in my opinion, and liquids. So I have used this one with cream bronzer. I've used it with cream blush. I could really do like a whole face with this one before I, you know, start to do like more targeted powder applications if I really wanted to. How often does it need washing? You know, this one actually, you can get away with not washing it like that often, because another thing that I really love about these Kolinsky bristles is that they just easily wipe off on your brush here, and they're not all like that. So as you can see, so yeah, I don't really need to wash this brush often at all, and especially if you have like a little like I have this, it's like Sephora's dry shampoo spray. I highly recommend this, by the way, if y'all haven't tried this. This is, in my opinion, like one of a kind. I haven't seen anything else like this on the market. And twice a year they have the Sephora has their sale where everybody can get 30% off Sephora products, and it's basically dry shampoo brush cleaner. So you just like spray this on a little towel or on your brushes, and you just like wipe them like this, and they're good to go, honestly. And right now I didn't even use that, but look, like it's literally clean just by me like swirling it on this microfiber cloth here. So I could continue to use this brush over and over and over and over again if I wanted to. Have you used the Chantecaille Future Gel Foundation? Yes, I have. I was wondering how the okay, the gel foundation by Chantecaille also has supposed skincare ingredients in it. I will say that based on my first impressions here, they're different in the sense that this is like a super, super, super lightweight, very light coverage skin tint, basically. Complexion, vital skincare. So I don't know if this is marketed as a skin tint, but it's essentially like the lightest coverage you can possibly get out of a complexion product, other than, I would say, maybe the only other thing that might have less coverage that I've tried is that Chanel like water fresh tint, you know what I mean, the one that has like the, hi, thank you for joining the live. Is it soft? Oh my gosh, yes. This, Paulina, this Kolinsky brush is so soft, like it just feels like a cushion on your skin. There is absolutely nothing pokey about this, not one pokey hair at all. So yeah, this is a really, really special brush. It has kind of a high price tag, but I do recommend it. The new Kolinsky eye and cheek brushes. Yes, I did. Thank you for asking. I did pick up the new Kolinsky eye and cheek brushes. I'm assuming that you meant that you're meaning the new releases by Fude Bobo and Bisyodo. Yes, Paulina, this brush is absolutely stunning. I'm so blessed and lucky to have it. It's goated. I was saying earlier, it's probably like one of the great, probably, yeah, my most luxurious foundation brush that I can think of right now that I have, that I own. I love it. It's like, it's going to be hard to rotate this brush out. I have so many brushes, so I rotate them so I can get use out of all of them. But this is one that is just really hard for me to remove from my vanity. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I can't wait on those Bisyodo ones. I can't wait to see the reviews. Bobo said they're making another batch as I missed out. Oh, I'm so sorry you missed out. I didn't know that they were sold out. Yeah, she periodically has releases that sell out, but then they come back in all the time. So as I was saying, the Chantecaille, the gel foundation that was asked about, the Future Gel Foundation, I would probably recommend that one over this one. I know that this is just first impressions on this one, but unless you're looking for like a much lighter coverage, I like the Future Gel Foundation because you can kind of build it up. It's still pretty lightweight, which as I get older, I've been enjoying more of a lighter coverage foundation, but maybe not as light as this one. This one, I just feel like I wouldn't get my money's worth out of it, honestly, because I feel like I would just like be having to use more and more. And it's just like super liquidy. The Future Gel Foundation is truly more of a gel consistency. The formula is more, is a little thicker. So if I had to choose this one over that one, I would definitely pick the Chantecaille one based on my first impressions of this one already. Chanel Sublimage. This Chanel Sublimage. I'm trying to think which one that I get confused with all the. This one's the Le Beige. Is the Sublimage one the one in the pot? If so, I have tried the Sublimage one. Yeah, it's the one that's the bigger version of this one, right? This is the Sublimage Concealer. I've tried the Sublimage Foundation. I love it. It's great. I highly, highly, highly recommend it. I have it somewhere, but yeah. It's really, really good. That one's a pretty penny as well, the Chanel Sublimage Foundation. But I'm sorry to say, it's stunning. It's really, really, really lovely. If you don't want to spend as much like on the foundation and you want to first try the concealer is similar in consistency, except it has maybe a little bit more coverage. And yeah, of course you're welcome, and anybody can feel free to ask any questions. My mom is a huge fan of the Clé de Peau foundation. Clé de Peau foundations are excellent. Every single Clé de Peau foundation I've ever tried has been great, amazing. And I agree, your mom has really good taste because Clé de Peau has amazing complexion products. My mom just joined the chat, J2My06. This one is really special. This one's the latest one of the Clé de Peau foundations that I've picked up to try. This one's their cushion foundation, and honestly, it's made in Japan. Honestly, cushion foundations are underrated. I know that Tur cushion foundation has been going around and has been viral lately online. I haven't tried the Tur one just because it's like, I have this, and I highly doubt that Tur foundation can beat this one. You know what I mean? Another cushion foundation that I really love is Chantecaille's cushion foundation. I just like, it's lovely. It's great. Even with this Bisyodo foundation brush here, like you can just, you know, I really reach for cushion foundations when I'm in a rush, because when I'm in a rush, like I don't really want to put like liquid all over my face, right? Or like a cream that will take a while to kind of settle in. cushion foundations are such a thin formula, but they have still a good amount of coverage. They tend to be more of a natural finish as well. So if your skin is more on like the normal to dry side, a lot of times you don't even have to powder with cushion foundations. I always powder just because my skin leans more oily. This here is in the shade Medium Ochre 30, if anybody is curious. So yeah, your mom has good taste. I like to just like, if I have like a skin tint or a lightweight base, I love to just like dip into this one and use it just in areas where I want a little bit more coverage, and it's great at that. I think these will, like cushion foundations are also great for travel. Like look at this, this comes with its own little mirror. You can see all the brushes that I have laid out right here for y'all that I pulled out. But yeah, so yeah, I think cushion foundations are just underrated. They're just easy to apply. You could probably just like even apply these cushion foundations with your finger, your beauty blender if you want, etc. Even just like a little poof, like a cotton poof. Yeah, let me know your thoughts if you try out that cushion foundation. Love that one. All right, let's see what we should do next here. For concealer, what should I pull out for concealer? I used my Clé de Peau concealer, my stick Clé de Peau concealers last time on this live. So this is another trick that I like to use if I'm like really in a rush, is stick formulas, just because it's easy to just slap these on. You can just like pat them in with your fingers and like go. They have a very natural coverage to them. It's not like a liquid that you have to like wait until it settles in and then set. So that's another trick that I love using when I'm in a pinch, since it seems like I'm always in a rush when I do my makeup. You've used the Dior one and you weren't a fan of it. The Dior cushion foundation, I'm wondering if that's what you meant by using the Dior one. I'm not familiar with Dior's cushion foundation. Okay, so for concealers here handy, I have the Valentino one. I have the Givenchy one. Feel free if anybody has any suggestions. The Dior cushion. Okay, interesting. I haven't tried the Dior cushion foundation. I'm not super familiar with that one. I haven't heard very many people talk about it. I was asked last time. I'm pulling out just foundations that I mean concealers that I have here handy. I have the Fenty one. I have this Makeup Forever one. If anybody has any suggestions as to what I should use, feel free to make any suggestions. I have the Dior one. Where was I going? I said somebody had asked me, oh, if I was going to pick up the Dior, the new stick foundation. I was going to pick it up because I was curious about it, but I don't know. I've heard some reviews talk about like how emollient it was, and I'm just not sure if it's going to be good for my oily skin, because I hear that it's more emollient than this Tom Ford stick foundation. And if that's the case, I'd rather just stick with this Tom Ford one, to be honest. I wear this shade Tawny 7.0, and I do enjoy it for a stick foundation. It does get a little bit more oily throughout the day than what I typically prefer, or than how oily I get throughout the day with something more mattifying, like the YSL one. I just picked up the Tom Ford, which one? It's the Architecture one. Soft matte. This one's great for my skin type since I'm oily. But as you can see, I'm not sure, but you could probably tell that just like me putting a little bit of that cushion foundation on my skin provided me with significantly more coverage than I had before that. Have I tried the House Labs? Yes, I have tried the House Labs. I picked up what I thought to be my shade in the House Labs foundation. but it ended up being too dark. So I had to return it, and but I did like the formula, and I just like didn't feel like trying for a different shade and then, you know, potentially having to return it again. And I could go into my local Sephora. Like, I have a couple really close to where I work and live, but I'm lazy, y'all. Like, after COVID, I just pretty much exclusively do my shopping online, and I prefer not to have to go into the store if I don't need to. Also, just because my experience going into my local Sephora's has not been great. Like, the lighting in there is just like not true to like outdoor lighting. It's just like hard to like see what your shade is. Everything is just like messed with, and it's just like not the best experience. So if I can, like, what I usually do is look up people that I feel like have my similar skin tone and see if they've reviewed a foundation product that I'm interested in, and then try to just go with that. So what I was saying, the House Labs, yes, I agree. It's emollient. It lasts well. It's blurring. I ended up just going with this shade 000 Fair Neutral in the House Labs foundation, because I just heard that it was a good like mixing medium, essentially. Like, and I have some foundations that are just like a tad too warm for me or too dark, and that I heard somebody online say that this kind of like helps to lighten a foundation that you might have and like neutralize it without being like super stark white on the skin. And I was actually pleasantly surprised. So because I like the formula in this House Labs foundation, but I just heard that the shades tend to run warm, or I don't know, that was just my experience. Supposedly she labels her, Lady Gaga, the owner of House Labs, supposedly she labels her foundations kind of like the way MAC does, where it's like the opposite of what. So if you're cool, you look for the warm. If you're warm, you look for cool. I don't know. I'm pretty much a true neutral though. So like, as you can see it blended out nicely. So I like to use this with something that might be a little bit dark or a little bit warm on my skin, such as like this Chantecaille. This is the anti-aging skin tint, and as you can see, it's dark, quite a bit darker than my skin tone. It's warmer than my skin tone. I'll just swatch a little bit right there. And it's very, very, very super light coverage, like almost no coverage at all. It's a tint. So I like to like mix formulas like this together so that I can get a better skin match and also that nice emolliency from the House Labs. Their olive tones are good. Okay, interesting. I do have olive undertones in my skin tone, so yeah, I kind of just like gave up and just thought that this was cool to try out, and then I didn't try to find my perfect shade after that. But yeah, I'm so glad that it works for you. I'm glad to hear that you enjoy it. I have the House Labs concealer here. Maybe I can use this one. It's the shade 22 Light Medium Peach. This is a good shade for my skin tone. It has a slight hint of peach. The consistency is similar to the foundation, except it has a little bit more coverage. And if I don't get going, I can just like yap about makeup all day long. But I am a little bit on a time crunch here, so I need to like pick up the pace. Thank you for continuing to drop your questions. I'm happy to answer them. All right, let's look for a little concealer brush here. So, oh, I was just showcasing this Mizuho brush. Mizuho is also another brand that has announced it will be increasing its prices. I'm not really focusing on Mizuho in this live. Hey Matt, thanks for joining my live. I'm doing my makeup. I'm getting ready. Are you going to get anything from the Chanel Clairvoyance Fall Collection? Thank you for asking, Shara Star. I haven't decided yet. I did see some of the promo photos for the new Chanel Clairvoyance collection. I'm always tempted by Chanel, to be honest with you. But, and in my experience, it's hard for Chanel to go wrong. You needed this today. Thank you. I always appreciate the support. Let me know if there's any particular products you want me to use. So, I don't know, Sharstar, are you planning on picking up anything from that collection? Do you think I should pick up anything? Another one that I was thinking I could have used for concealer is this little mini Bisyodo brush here. Thank you, Matt. You're an excellent lawyer yourself as well. This one I totally could have used as concealer, for concealer. Some people have an issue with the, I don't know, these little mini handles are quite polarizing. Some people hate them, some people love them. It's good that Bisyodo offers short and long handles, but it is also a shame that they don't have the same brush heads in both of their versions. So this one unfortunately is only available in their little short handle series, but I do really appreciate the shape of this one. This cute little goat hair, undyed goat hair dome shape is quite unique. I don't have very many in my collection that resemble this little dome shape. I'm picking up the lavender blush and the purple quad. Ooh, thank you for sharing that, Sharstar99. I am curious to know your thoughts on that one after you try it. I recommend this one by Bisyodo. If y'all are looking, I just recently picked up a backup of this one, and I'm not one to do backups in general. But I just thought this one was so unique. It's super soft. It's Canadian Squirrel. Look at how the bundling is just, the artisan just bundled this hair perfectly. Not all Canadian Squirrel brushes have this like perfect stripe, as you can see. They have to make sure that like all the hairs are matching so that that stripe can be so cohesive like that. Do you see how on Bisyodo's brushes? I just really appreciate that. It takes, you know, the artisan, it involves going out of their way to make sure that the stripe is kind of as even as it can be, because I've definitely seen some lower quality Canadian Squirrel brushes where the stripe isn't very, like this is an example of one here. See how this is a Canadian Squirrel brush too by Bisyodo, but you don't see that lovely stripe. It's just, and also just the quality, you can tell, is not as soft on this little Canadian Squirrel brush here as it is in these longer African Rosewood handle collections. Hi Al Fude Lover, thank you for joining my live. Okay, so let's see here. I just put on a little bit of concealer. I'm wondering if I should do more or if that's good. I think that's good. I'm not going too crazy right now on the makeup since I'm just going to church. So I have a couple of setting powders here that I love. Huda Beauty, Givenchy, Chanel. These are some of my favorites. I know we are all mourning the beloved Givenchy powder. I'm so glad you can join, Al Fude Lover. I know you're busy on the weekends, so I really appreciate you being here. It's always nice to have you. So I don't know. I love any of these setting powders. Another foundation that I think just deserves a shout out for all of you who are just asking about foundations that I love. I was gonna say, I do recommend the Chanel Le Beige foundation, especially if you have, maybe not so much if you have oily skin. I still appreciate it even with my oily skin, but it is a little bit more radiant than ideal, but I still love it and decided to keep it just because of the way it wears throughout the day. It's pretty lightweight, and I just have to make sure that I use like a mattifying concealer with it or that I powder pretty generously. But this one, I will say, is probably like, I know that the La Prairie foundation is going viral right now, but I've tried that one, and honestly, I think I'm more impressed with this Clé de Peau foundation. It's called The Foundation, and the name is perfect. It suits it perfectly. It's The Foundation. Like, she is that girl. This foundation is literally the epitome of luxury. It comes with its own little like holder here. It comes with its own little like gold scooper mechanism that you can use to like scoop the foundation out. I'm gonna be honest, like the packaging is not my favorite when I have to like scoop anything out. Same with the Chanel Sublimage concealer. It's just not the most clean way of keeping liquid and cream products, but it's not the most sanitary, I guess. But at the same time, if a product is good enough, like, it can overcome that for sure for me, which all of those do. The Chanel has a new olive shades in the Le Beige, by the way. Oh, thank you for telling me. I didn't know that, but that's great to hear. This one is the shade BD41. So the shade is, it works pretty well for me. But who knows, maybe they now have a shade that works even better. I don't know, since I already have it out, I'll just, you see, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good match. The Suku foundation, yeah, I've been wanting to try the Suku foundation as well. I just haven't, but I've heard great things about the Suku foundation. In the Clé de Peau, I have the shade 040 here, but I also have one more shade in it. I know this is like super, super extra of me to have two of these, but I kid you not, like, it's that good. This one's a shade 050. So this one's slightly deeper than this one. And I just have it for, like, I don't know, my skin tone just fluctuates throughout the year. So when I don't have a self-tan on, I would say the shade 040 is a good match. But when I do have a self-tan on, then the shade 050 is a better match. So sometimes I like to mix the two of them. But that's how much I love that foundation that I don't mind having two. Yeah, I'm sure the Suku foundation is great. Yasmin on here, she like raves about that. She loves them. I think there's two different types of Suku foundations. I don't have either of them. The only things I've tried from Suku are their blushes, I think. I think that's the only thing I have from Suku. Okay, so why don't we just do, I'm gonna do a little bit of this Cherry Blossom Cake underneath my eyes. And then I'll just use the Chanel powder for the rest of my face. I use my little IKEA bowl here. I just pour some in this bowl. And let's see which brush we can use for this step. I like to often take like a damp beauty blender and press in my powder with that. But since we're trying to showcase some brushes here, I would probably go for something like this for a look similar to how I'm doing right now, which is kind of like a lighter look here. Or if you're the type of person that just likes to pinpoint powder and not do like the baking technique, a brush like this in the Bisyodo Grand series is perfect because this is a swirl brush. So you tried the Suku foundation and you love it. Thank you for sharing. Hey Ferturbs, thanks for joining my live. It's good to have you. So I'm just taking this Bisyodo Grand series brush here. The squirrel hair is very high quality on this Bisyodo Grand series. I do recommend these Bisyodo Grand series brushes. They are pricey, so they are more of like collector's items. You can find them on the Fude Bobo website, but yeah, this is kind of like, it's luxury. It's beautiful ebony wood. I love how they have engraved the name of the brush on the handle. This is the GH01. They have one that's a little larger than this one that resembles, oh, I think it's this one. more of the, like the Wayne Goss airbrush. And yeah, these are great little brushes. I'm trying to remember if there's one in between. I think the other one I'm thinking about is this one for the eyes. I do have all of the Grand Series brushes, but they're not all together. So I just like have them scattered, and I didn't collect every single one for this video just because I have plenty of brushes already to talk about. You've been using the Koyudo Bisyodo Bobo foundation brush for setting. Are you talking about, these are Koyudo with the little owls on them. I'm not sure if you mean a different one. Bisyodo Bobo owl brush. Do you mean either of these two? Or is there a different one? Okay, this one. The big fluffy one, or? Yeah. Oh, the domed one, this one. Yeah. Oh, Koyudo. They're Koyudo Bobo brushes. Oh, interesting. I don't know why I thought these were Koyudo. They're Koyudo. Okay. Thank you, Star. I get confused all the time, y'all. So it's common that I make mistakes. I have so many brushes. Koyudo is the domed one. Okay. Koyudo, Koyudo. That's what it must be. Hopefully I'm getting that right. Thank you for the input. Yeah, those are excellent brushes. Those are great brushes. I highly recommend this one if anybody can still get their hands on it, just because it's multi-purpose. You can use it for all sorts of things. Yeah, great for setting, just like you mentioned. Yeah, this one's an excellent one. As you can see, I have it right here handy just because it's been hard to put that one down as well. Okay, so I'm just finishing up right here, setting my face. Oh, and another one I also picked up that is not what we're focusing on today, but this one's an Koyudo Bobo collab. I haven't washed it yet, so it'll fluff out more once I wash it, but I just like, the ebony handle, it just gets me every time, and I just love the little like lettering right here. They're engraved, just lovely. And I like using these big fluffy brushes like this to just set the entire face. I love the ebony handle too. Yeah, the ebony wood, man, it just gets me. That's why I ended up having to pick up all of these. I don't know why I'm impartial to ebony, but you know, I just love that they added the logo. Same. I passed when it didn't have a logo. You have a beautiful, I would love to see a brush favorites video. Thank you so much, Paulina. Yeah, I have a few videos on my YouTube channel focused on some of my favorite Fude brushes, so feel free to check that out. You can find the link to my YouTube channel in my description. Koyudo makes brushes for Koyudo. Yeah, true. It's okay, many people mix them up, but Koyudo doesn't make any brushes. Okay, thank you for the information, Star. Yes, I know that Koyudo is technically the EOM for Koyudo. So, same maker. Yeah, I appreciate when they add logos as well. It definitely elevates the brush a lot more. Okay, so what else should we do next? Let's do a little bit of bronzer and blush and highlight, shall we? So for bronzer, this is another step that I just love, just because I've been enjoying so many good bronzers out there on the market lately. I recently picked up this Valentino one. I've been using the heck out of those Chanel bronzers in their face palettes. The Chanel Le Beige. I have 3 of these shades, so I'll give that a rest. I've been loving, like, for cream bronzer and contour, this like Makeup Forever palette. I do really love the Westman Atelier cream contour sticks. I have both shades in Truffle and Biscuit. For cream blush, I love the Westman Atelier cream blushes as well. But on days like today, when I'm just kind of doing a more like lightweight makeup look, I'm probably just gonna go in with just a powder blush today. So some of my favorite formulas are the Gucci ones. I love the Valentino ones. I also love, which other ones? I love these Givenchy ones in their loose powder formula. They're just a little bit finicky because they're loose powders, but they are really beautiful. I love my Chantecaille blushes. I have a few of those. I love the Giorgio Armani blushes as well. Have a few of these shades. And as far as bronzers go, love the Gucci bronzers. I've been dipping into this Giorgio Armani bronzer, although with my tan right now, it's a little bit on the lighter side. This is a shade 90, but the next shade up was too warm for me. I also have this new YSL bronzer that's really nice as well. Or I guess it's new-ish. It's new to me. Mineral sunscreen or chemical? No, I wear chemical sunscreen sometimes. Today I'm wearing a chemical sunscreen. This is the Murad Hydration Invisibler Perfecting Shield. Pretty sure it's broad spectrum SPF 30 PA+++. I get confused because I could have sworn somebody said broad spectrum meant mineral, but I think this is chemical because the active ingredients are avobenzone 2.0, homosalate 4.0, octisalate 4.0, and octocrylene 2.0. Pretty sure this one's chemical. This one is the one that I used in my recent short that you asked about. It's weird because it doesn't say like Thrive Cosmetics on the front, but it is by Thrive Cosmetics. It says on the back in small letters here at the bottom, distributed by Thrive Cosmetics Inc. But they sent me this one in PR, and this one's mineral, so I've been using this one. I recently picked up this Kiehl's one just because it was like, I don't know, on a good deal at Sephora. I think it was like 50% off. I thought it was mineral, but then I realized when I received it that it was actually chemical. This one did irritate my eyes slightly, and I think that that's kind of the issue that people have with chemical sunscreens. Not all chemical sunscreens irritate my eyes though. And maybe it's just the way that I use them, because I do set my eyelids, like, because I go in even on my eyelids with my sunscreen, but I just make sure to like set my eyelids with powder, and that pretty much takes care of the issue. Hey Cindy, welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. Looks really thick though. I'm more into Korean and Japanese chemical sunscreens. Yeah, I will say this is not the thinnest of formulas. Have you tried the Al Fude Lover, the Chantecaille sunscreen? That one's a really nice one. It's very liquidy. Doesn't have a white cast at all. It's chemical. It goes really well under foundation. It does not pill up. I don't know why I just lean more towards chemical, just because, I mean, more minerals. Hi, Ihodo. Thank you for joining. Hi, Didi Mona. Thank you for joining the live. Welcome, everybody. Yeah, you can't go wrong with Korean and Japanese sunscreens. Honestly, I have a ton of sunscreens. I love trying out different ones. I have been enjoying this Dr. Dennis Gross. This is the lightweight wrinkle defense. It's broad spectrum SPF 30. My main criteria is that it has at least an SPF of 30 and no white cast and no pilling underneath my foundation. That's a must for me in my foundation, or I mean in my sunscreens. But other than that, I'm not super picky. I just know that I've seen like 3 or 4 dermatologists in my life, And for some reason, they all say that they recommend mineral sunscreens for some reason over chemical sunscreens. I don't understand the science behind it. I don't know if it's better for like hyperpigmentation or my acne prone skin. That's why they always sell like Ulta MD in their offices, you know? So I don't know. I just figure there must be a reason. If anybody's more knowledgeable about that type of thing, feel free to drop your thoughts. But, okay, so I have some brushes here that we can, Ihodo, since you just joined, I was just showcasing your brush. I just used this Ihodo brush to powder all over my face. The Dennis Gross one is great. Got it during the Sephora. Yeah, I agree. Dr. Dennis Gross has some really good sunscreens. Okay, so let's see. For bronzer, that's the next step. I'm going to try to keep it moving. This one is another good one that I could use for bronzer. I know Owl Fude Lover 23 loves this one. I've seen her showcase it before on her channel. But yeah, so this one's another, this one's a dyed goat hair brush by Bisyodo here in their long handle series. This one is a squirrel hair brush by Bisyodo in their grand series. Hi Fude Collection, thank you for joining the live. Welcome. Supposedly chemical sunscreen only works when the sun rays activate it, whereas mineral is more protective all around. Okay, thank you for that. Yeah, it's been explained to me. I've looked it up and I just like, I don't know. The science behind it kind of goes over my head. Mineral is supposed to do better for hyperpigmentation, which is what I suffer from, but I don't. Yeah, Cindy, same. And that's why I figure, hi Auntie Martha, my Auntie Martha just joined. That's exactly why I just tend to gear more toward mineral sunscreens if I can. Just because, like, if it can help me with my melasma and hyperpigmentation, I'll take all the help that I can get, really. So yeah, so these are good. Any of these are good for bronzer. It just depends on kind of like your skin type and your personal preference. This one's, like I said, a dyed goat hair brush right here. This one's a squirrel hair brush right here. And this one's an undyed goat hair brush here. All handmade Japanese brushes. A fun fact, my Auntie Martha, who just joined this live, she lives in Saipan. It's an island. It's really, really close to Japan. It's a small island and it's part of the United States as well. It's a United States territory. So that's really cool. She frequents Japan all the time. Shout out to my Auntie Martha. She's great. So I would say I would recommend more of like an undyed. Hi, Julia. Thank you for joining the live. Welcome. Just doing a quick get ready with me here. And I kind of need to speed this up because I could just chat with y'all forever. But I'm going to have to go soon. So I'm just going to finish this up real quick. But yeah, let me know if any of y'all, the Bisyodo brushes look nice. Thank you, Cindy. Yes. These Bisyodo brushes in the Grand Series are really luxurious. If anybody has them or are checking them out, I do recommend them. The ferrules, they're 24 karat gold ferrules. The wood is ebony wood, and they're able to carve into the wood because ebony is a hard type of wood. So not all wood lends itself to that. Another reason I was saying that, I don't know why I just gravitate towards ebony wood handles, but I'm going to use a little bit of this Gucci bronzer. This is in the shade 02. I love Gucci packaging. I'm just a sucker for it. This one has a nice neutral undertone. So it works kind of like a bronzer in between a bronzer and a contour. Bisyodo Undyed Goat. Their dyed goat is scratchy and not appealing. Thank you for the feedback, Owl Fude Lover. Yeah, I agree. If you have sensitive skin, you might prefer to go with more of like the undyed goat or the squirrel hair. But if you don't have sensitive skin, like these are more like workhorse type brushes. The Gucci bronzer. Oh my gosh, girl. I have, I think, 4 of these now. Either 3 or 4. I have the shades 2, 3, 4, and 5, I think. But, yeah, I just like, I didn't expect to end up with so many. But I figured like I'll keep like the best shade that works for me. They all work for me. So I just ended up keeping them. Just like with the blushes, I just ended up like collecting, I think I have like almost all the shades now. My favorite Fude bronzer brush of all time. That's a tough one. You know, I've really been enjoying this Sonia G one recently. It does the job really quickly. And I wasn't planning on showcasing these Sonia G ones today just because like, because I'm more focused on Koyudo and Bisyodo in this live. But I can really appreciate a brush like this. I've really loved this brush shape, and I do have her Niji Pro. I have the Bisyodo one that's also a fan shape like this. It's just more dense. I showcased it in my previous live. As you can see up there, I have, or you probably can't see, but I have a lot of Hakuhodo, the mixed squirrel and goat hair brushes, and the Sonia G one that's similar to this one that came out on that like Mount Fuji one. There's so many, like it's hard for me to pick, honestly. I can't say I have like one specific go-to, but I don't know. This one is, oh, the Bisyodo, the one I was talking about is this one. This one's really, really nice. Yeah, that new Sonia G one, it's not too dense. You're right. It's almost like, whereas this one could be too dense, sometimes this one won't be. But sometimes it's nice to have a dense brush, like if you're working with a baked gelée. That's why it's a little bit hard. You find the Niji Pro too dense. Interesting. So then, yeah, you might like this more airy one. It also just kind of depends on what type of a formula I'm using, because like I said, like this Gucci bronzer is quite pigmented. So I probably wouldn't go in with such a dense brush like this one, for instance, by Bisyodo. I would go in with more of like an airy brush like this. So it's tough to say. I'm sorry I can't give you like a straightforward answer, but like this one's also really nice. The only reason that I gravitate more towards like something with like more dyed bristles or not like stark white, like undyed goat hair only. Hey, Allie, welcome to the live. Thanks for joining. Is just because I can't stand to see like these out on my vanity like after one use, just like I just used it right now. I just feel like, I don't know, like it's dirty and I don't want to use it, and it's just like not the same experience. Like even when I try to clean it off, unlike Kalinsky hair, this one is not going to completely be like entirely clean. Hi Bobo, thank you for joining. We're talking about your brushes. So that's the only reason that I would say like it doesn't pop into my mind like right away, like to go any of these. But great brushes, excellent. Nevertheless. So, all right, I'm really having to hurry this up. Unfortunately, I could be on here literally like all day, but why don't we just go in and grab, ooh, I just randomly grabbed a blush. This is in the shade number 1. The Eye to Cheek formula here by Valentino. And why don't we, okay, so this formula is really pigmented. So for something like this, I would go in with more of like a squirrel hair brush because it's not going to pick up as much as a goat hair brush, whether it's dyed or undyed. Do you see that? I mean, these bristles are just so soft. This brush here could be used for all over setting. It could be used for bronzer. I'm using it for blush, as you can see right now. Hey, Cindy, thank you for joining this live. So good to see you. I appreciate having you here. I'm going in with this Valentino blush. I'm just kind of finishing up this Get Ready With Me, unfortunately. Thank you for all the sweet comments from everybody. I appreciate it. I finally made it. I know it's unfortunate you couldn't make it a little bit sooner when I just started, but I will be reposting this when I finish. just in case any of y'all missed it. Okay, I'm just going to go in and spot conceal with a little bit of this ginger shade here by NARS. And I'm going to be using another little weasel brush here by Bisyodo. I love these little flat Kolinsky brushes for this purpose, for spot concealing. There's also like a little domed one, this one here. That is a really unique little dome shaped brush. Hi Natsufude, thank you for joining this live. The brush that I just used for blush, this one was beautiful. This is Bisyodo's Grand Series. Oh, I was going to tell y'all that maybe part of the reason why ebony wood is just like really special and dear to me is because I actually, my first home as a child, what we would call it, this is Bisyodo's finger brush. It's synthetic. It's great. But yeah, we would call it the ebony house because, hi Gem Food, thank you for joining. Because the street was Ebony Street. So I don't know. I think that's another reason why I just like gravitate towards ebony wood handles. But that, and just because they're just so luxurious. I'm going in with the bronzer that I used all over my face here with this Bisyodo Canadian Squirrel brush that I was just raving about. It is such a lovely one and done brush. Do you see how quickly that was able to just like blend that out? So when you're in a rush, like I am right now, and like I usually am in the morning, this step right here is like a non-negotiable for me. I have to throw something on in my eye socket. Otherwise, I just feel naked. Swipe a little bit on the bottom lash line and I'm good to go, really. Every once in a while, like, yeah, I'll take, not every once in a while. The only other thing I do really is take like, Fude Bobo, we brought you home to the ebony house. Thank you, Mom. Yeah, so when I was a baby, that was my first home and it was on Ebony Street. And by the time I was 2 years old, I moved into the house where I grew up in. But yeah, that just like, it's just close. It's near and dear to my heart when I hear the word ebony. But yeah, so Fude Bobo might still have this one available on her website. They come in and out of stock. This is a Koyudo brush. I love this brush. Highly recommend this brush. You could use it for so many tasks. You can use it for powder contour. You can use it for highlighter like I'm using right now. I've showcased this brush with setting powder. I could dip into my loose setting powder right here and powder my T-zone after I, wipe the highlighter off. I love that your mom is on here. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I love that she's on here as well. She doesn't always catch my lives because she's a busy woman. I usually have to work around my mom's social life when I want to see her. But yeah, so I've been trying to get my mom into Fude for a while, but we're not all the way there yet, are we, Mom? Okay, so I'm just gonna slap on some lip liner real quick. This is just the Patrick Ta one. I have to sharpen this. Is anyone else really bad at sharpening their lip liners just like I am? All right, this one's the Give Beauty lip liner by Gwen Stefani. And you don't have to sharpen this one. I prefer formulas in lip liners that require sharpening. I just get lazy to sharpen them. I don't really recommend this lip liner, to be honest with you. There's other ones on the market that are better. It seems like such a chore all the time. Okay, I'm so glad that I'm hearing that people relate on that note. You don't use them, Cindy Lou. You probably don't even need makeup. You're not missing out, girl. Nobody needs makeup, right? We all just do it because it's fun. All right, so what should we do for the lips, y'all? I just have this Thrive Cosmetics stash right here because they were so kind and sent me some of their products to test out. And then this will be the last step. I think I had chapstick on before this, so. Or maybe some residual sunscreen on my lips, which is why I was just kind of like picking that off. It looks beautiful. Thank you. I usually don't like to do lip gloss when my hair is down because it'll get in my hair and I don't like that, but for the sake of the look, right? Okay, and the very last step, Victoria Beckham eyeliner here. This is in the shade Cinnamon. I love a good tight line. I like to throw this in my bottom lash line. It's a nice brown color. It's kind of like a neutral, warmish brown tone with like a little bit of like a taupey sparkle to it. It's lovely. Love the Victoria Beckham eyeliners. They're great. Highly recommend. On a daily basis, I would usually throw on some bottom lash mascara. I recently tried this one from Thrive. It's a tubing mascara and I have really enjoyed it, but I don't really want to bother with that right now. I don't really have time either. So I'm just going to throw on a perfume. I have this one by Chantecaille. It's Vetiver. It smells great. It's a unisex fragrance. I've linked it on my LTK that you can find at the link in my Instagram bio. It's nice and spicy, but it's also fresh. Thank you so much for the compliment. I really appreciate that. If I had time, I would have probably finished this off with this Guerlain Meteorites powder. I don't know. Let me just do it real quick. But just to show you, I can go in with this Bisyodo brush and just do a nice wash into this Guerlain Meteorites. This just kind of makes sure that there are no harsh lines. Everything's nice and blended in. It does have a scent to it, so if you're sensitive to fragrance, maybe don't get that Guerlain Meteorites. But it's lovely. It's lovely to look at. I love having it on my vanity. The finish is beautiful. Hello, thank you for joining the live. I'm finishing up my look here. I'm getting ready for church. I'm about to leave. I need to go now. I'm giving Aaliyah vibes with this look. Thank you so much. That is such a compliment. What shade is that? Oh, in the Meteorites. This is a shade 3, Warm, Doré. Thank you for asking. Yeah, it's lovely. It's a lovely finishing powder. They have multiple shades. So I think that's it, y'all. What do we think? The final look come out okay? I was a little distracted talking to you, but I can chat about makeup and Fude brushes all day long. So thank you everyone who joined. I have to run, but hopefully you will all catch my next live. Feel free to drop any questions or comments in this video. I'm going to post this as soon as hi, Sea Salt Waves. I'm just leaving. I just finished up a Get Ready With Me. I showcased a lot of my favorite products and my favorite brushes. It's too bad that you weren't able to join earlier, but I'm about to post this as soon as I get off. So hopefully this look turned out okay. My hair will just have to do. And yeah, love you all. Bye. Have a happy Sunday.